Do your neighbors judge you when you run around like a madman to the mailbox? Are you spending the last of your paycheck on a book of stamps? Do you find yourself printing form letters at 3 o'clock in the morning? Well, welcome to Autographers Anonymous.
Welcome to Autographers Anonymous, a place where we discuss our addiction to the greatest hobby in the world. Here are your hosts, Chasing Ink, Andy Summers, B. Mart, Mike the Godfather, guest host, Scott from Reindeer Studios, and yours truly, Zane Savage. Well, we're going to start off with TTMs of the week, and that went swell last week. We actually had 0 entries. So congratulations, absolutely nobody. Just to reiterate, guys, this is for a package of legend autographs, including Joe Namath, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and there's going to be more added. So if you're interested in winning some of that stuff, submit your TTMs. There's a form right on our website, graphersaa.com, graphersaa.com. Go there. It's actually right behind me. If you're watching the video, you can just spell it out from the video. It's real easy. And win some free stuff. Win some free autographs. So basically what happens with, I just want to reiterate, you win TTM of the weeks, and then out of those people, we'll pick a random winner at the end of our season, and that person will win the group of Legends autographs. So enter. Moving on to returns, we'll start with Mike.
Me. All right. I actually got some stuff in this week. And surprisingly, I think people are bored just like we are at home and catching up on mail because I got a bunch of returns from 2018.
We were wrong. We thought TTMs were going to slow down, and it looks like they've stayed the same and actually changed a bit, which we'll touch on. But go ahead.
Yeah. I did have a couple of purchases. I'll show these real quick. First one, shout out to Troy Rudder, who is not here this week. This is his book, Mission to Phaedra. There's Troy, making an appearance. This is available on Amazon. So if you guys want to check out and support Troy, get that. Couple of index cards. Got this because I thought we might have a chance of doing Dan Aykroyd as the case against. So we'll save that one. But this was a huge purchase. Didn't pay much for it, but Don Knotts. Wow. So that will be a nice map piece eventually. That does it for purchases. I did get some TTMs, like I said, and I'll show you the reason I know they're from 2018. If you look on the back, let's do this. Sometimes they stamp your photo with a little date, because I'm not the type of person who keeps track of when I send out, where I send out. People ask all the time. That's just not what I do. But anyways, this is Tessa Thompson. She was in Thor Ragnarok.
Avenger success. Nice.
Yes. So she
Westworld.
signed 3.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding. So that's one from Thor. This one was a private address.
Can I throw something in real fast?
Yep.
If you guys don't like garbage on the back of your photos, Amazon, I believe, doesn't print anything. So just a note. Go ahead.
Actually, they do.
Do they?
They put garbage, just not the date.
They've been leaving. Okay, sorry. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Proven wrong right there in the video.
All right.
Good job.
So this was a private address, couple tries with him, wrestler Enzo Amore. How you doing? Certified G. Not with the company anymore, but he's got some great stuff on YouTube if you want to ever watch him gab.
I was actually at the Raw episode where him and his buddy broke up. I was at that episode. Yep.
The big cast. Another wrestling return. This was also a private address that was out a while. Old wrestler Nails.
Wow, that's signature,
that's
man.
an oldie.
There it is, a little bit better. There's the old WWF promo. He had a short run with the big boss man there.
Was he like an old former inmate of the big boss man, right?
From Cobb County.
Yeah.
Sent me this cool card too, the old WWF card.
Did he sign it?
No, he did not.
Man, like you almost have to have his inscription to authenticate his signature because it's so simple.
Yeah.
Like,
nails.
yeah.
This one was also out from 2019, but Indiana Hoosier, Damon Bailey. It's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Smearage.
I got a couple of them. There it is with Coach Bobby Knight. Big NCAA star, didn't do much after that. Another one from 2018. She is NXT star Marina Shafir. She's part of the 4 horsewomen. Signed 1.
There's a horsewoman?
Horsewomen.
Oh, my goodness.
That's like the MMA stars. Her, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, and Jessamine Duke.
So they train together or whatever.
Yeah. Another one from 2018. Greg Lloyd, longtime NFL star. Kind of had some trouble with the law, but great on the field. Pretty cool shot here. One of them artsy shots. And last one for Mr. Summers. Rugged Ronnie Garvin.
Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it.
Sign my photos.
Like
To Archer. This is also from 2018.
Your letter must have been so much nicer than mine.
I didn't put fake names in like you did. But, that is it for me. So I'll kick it over to Chase.
All right. I am using my stimulus package well and got some pickups for
Nice.
my Rangers PC. Got a Lewis Brinson, Prince Filler, couple Rugnetto doors.
Be a little gentle throwing those down there, man. Jeez.
Yeah,
That was the
Alright.
government paid for cards. Come on.
yeah. Nomar Mazzara. Let's see, the main out of the lot, I got a couple Yu Darvish. I tried several times to get him in games, and he always skipped me and got people next to me in front of me. So happy to add those. Got half of a lot that Troy picked up. I went on with him. Got Scott Erickson. Let's see, there we go, focus. For my 91 Fleer set. Also got a 91 Score and a 92 Fleer All-Star. Stay tuned for the end of the show. Find out how you could win that. I got a couple private signings in. Wally Joyner.
Nice.
And a couple Pete Rose.
Nice.
There we go. And then Connor, who was our guest host last time, got the cards that he got for me at spring training. A couple Rough Rider team cards that they got promoted before this team set came out. So got those in. And then on to actual TTMs. I got Frank White came in 2 of 2 in 350 days. So happy to get those.
Almost a year.
Yeah, almost. Another for my Rangers PC, Tommy Boggs. And then football player, Kirk Loadermilk.
What was that last name?
Loadermilk. Here,
Okay.
let me. You can.
Ladder milk?
Louder,
Yeah, it looks like
louder.
Loader milk to me. Lover.
LOWERMILK.
Interesting.
And then I got one more that I was going to show and kind of get y'all's opinion on, and it was Rick Camarello, I guess, football player. So that's easier to see this one. That's his signed card. And then I got a Q&A signed by him, but on the bottom, he signed it, marked it out, and signed it again.
Interesting. Any
Thoughts on that?
Oh, he's
That's
a punter,
interesting.
right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say they're pretty good. He's a punter.
Maybe he just got hit one too many times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he like did like a full signature with information that he didn't want you to know. Like maybe put his like middle name in there because he's just assigning documents.
I don't know if you can see it, but it's the exact same signature. Let's see. There we
No,
go.
it's a little shorter. I mean, it's a little longer. You see,
Yeah.
because the R's a little further in. So I think he probably had like some
Maybe.
information in there that he didn't want.
I don't know. I thought maybe he'd want to sign a blank. You know, some people don't want to sign the blank index cards or something, so
That could be it
maybe
too.
he signed it and then he had second thoughts, crossed it out. I don't know, but
Some people don't like signing on lines because people can take that and clip it into documents.
right.
So that could definitely be it too.
'Cause I've got several of those that aren't signed, and I figured that's the reason. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I got around.
What
for
you need to
this
do is
time.
make that like a little yellow box or something, dude. Instead of a white space, make it like a yellow or like green box, light green.
Now I got to
Oh.
print in color.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will say, Chase, that you need to put up a list of what cards you have in that set. So
yeah, I've got a
people can
list. I'm gonna
contact
make
you.
it. I'm gonna make it public here soon.
Good.
I'm sharing the list with Megan TT Hobby, so I need to make one.
You can make a
just
Google
my
Doc
list.
or something to put on your
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Throw it to somebody.
Andy.
All right. Chase, we'll compare notes because I'm also doing 91 Flair. So
Oh, okay.
we'll among 18 other sets I'm trying to do all at once.
Flair, Andy? They're doing Flair in 1991? I didn't know they did Flair in 1991.
Yeah, I'm doing a 92, 88, 89. All right.
Ear.
It's Boston. We say
There's a
Flair.
Fleer and there's a Flare. So there
Flair.
are two different ones. But this
It's
one,
Boston accent, all right? Dear God. I'm not even going to go now. Screw this.
Hey, no, you guys might actually understand Andy this time because he's using a very nice microphone now.
Yes,
So he didn't have
I-
it turned on last episode.
I figured out how to do it. All right. I'm going to start with the Hockey Hall of Famer, Grant Fior. The goalie signed. These actually just came in the other day. Hockey Hall of Famer turned golf pro at a golf course, signed 404. Next, this one was out for a couple years. His name is Osvaldo Hernandez. It was one of those Cuban exports that came in. Kelly Gruber, which this one was like a 3-year wait. He signed 3 of 3, which normally I've gotten them back in like 2 weeks, but these must have got lost someplace and took him a few extra years. Warren Berger, who now charges $3. I had to send to him so I can finish my try card.
That's nice.
Now, next, Caitlin, Don't Call Me Bruce Jenner came in.
Nice. Got the Caitlin signature. Yeah, actually,
she signs a Caitlin now. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can get those signatures pretty cheap if you want to sign book. They're out there pretty cheap too. So
it was kind of weird because I didn't know which way to address the letter, so I think I went with Miss Jenner.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
that'd be a
that's
tricky
the proper way to
situation.
do it.
Yeah, because you don't want to offend anybody, and yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I think I
So
just wrote
you're asking
Dear
for a
Jenner.
favor. So
Yeah.
So are the Bruce ones worth more now?
no, they're not because I've had
Okay.
several, and they aren't selling for. I mean, that's all the same pretty much.
She was signing Bruce, then she swapped over once I think it was completed.
Right. Yeah.
All right, this one would be complete if I didn't get a bowling Hall of Famer in. Mike Dubin actually added his Hall of Fame year onto it. Got 3 of 3. That was a RTS that I went to, and we found a new address. Next, NASCAR Clint Boyer came in.
Nice.
He actually signed 2 of 3. Next, hockey goalie Kurt McCullen signed 4 of 4. Next, Drew Stubbs signed 3 of 3. And it's Gabriel Jabaco. It was an address that I had found doing my little research fund. Next, this was an address that I requested on Star Tiger like 3 years ago, and it popped up last week. This guy took 7 days to come back signed from California. It's a very household name. He was the trainer for the Pawtucket Red Sox back in the 80s. Tony McClary. I bought a team set. He was in there, and I could never find his address. And all of a sudden, I got the big excitement from Star Tiger. We found the address. I was like,
You thought
oh,
you
boy.
got big excitement. That guy
Oh,
got
I
big
was
excitement
thrilled.
when he got a TTM.
And
Hey,
I got a
those
nice
guys are
letter
hard to
from him
find.
too. Oh, just added on to my day.
Those
That
guys
actually
are
came
hard
in.
to find.
That came in today.
That's getting framed, right?
Please, come on. That's a dumb question.
Right next to the Breaking Bad magazine.
Right. All right. Then I was bored about 2 weeks ago, and I started sending to NCAA coaches for basketball. I started sending out emails galore to them because I was really bored, and I was actually working at the time. So I ended up sending like 60, 70 emails out, and I got a lot of responses from the secretary saying, "Oh, this campus is all shut down.
Yeah.
You know, once the coach comes back on, we'll send you something." I got a couple guys in. So even if you're sitting around,
these are the guys that break quarantine, by the way.
Yeah, they'll send, by email.
They probably already had them signed.
Jeff Junkins. I forget where. I think it was Utah State or something. But he sent me a Celtics signed picture.
Nice.
Which was kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
Next, I wish Troy was still on here. Head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Fran McCaffrey. He didn't send me a picture. He sent me a poster.
Oh, yeah.
With the schedule and everything, which, that's going definitely in the frame.
You guys wonder where all that tuition money goes. They're sending posters out for emails.
Yeah. Nice colored poster. Yeah. Head coach of, where is this guy from again? Old Dominion, Jeff Jones. Usually I was asking for a picture and a signed business card. He sent me a signed business card. 2 of them. And a couple more. This guy is from Liberty Basketball. And I don't have, there's info on the back. I don't have his name right in front of me.
Because they made it to the tournament last year, too.
Yep.
So.
I didn't record any guys I sent to. I just went nuts. And 2 more. Eric Musselman from head coach basketball of Arkansas. Send me a business card.
Boo! Boo!
There you go.
Boo!
And one last one. I had sent this out 4 days ago for a request, and I got an email back saying, "Yeah, we'll send you one." And it came back as a total preprint, but it's Wolfgang Puck. That is my last one.
It's even a modern preprint with the 2020.
Yeah, it's just 20. But I just got it today, so I haven't really looked, but it just doesn't look right at all. But I think the 2020 is written in. And his is just pre-printed. But I saw a bunch of those come back personalized, so
it's probably pre-printed and personalized over.
Yep. Yeah, the secretary's doing this because that's who I got the email from, was the secretary.
Yeah, if you guys do send emails, you will get a lot of pre-printed autographs with secretarial inscriptions. It's pretty common with colleges too.
Yeah, but they also send you a lot of junky stuff too. I mean, if you're a huge fan of the school, and I've gone, keychains, stickers, other
pocket
posters.
schedules.
Yeah, schedules galore.
You can add that muscle
pictures.
into your trader PC, so that'll be good. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. All right. So let's just end with that.
Ben.
Oh, okay. So I got a TTM, surprisingly, and I just used Mike's trick to discover that this is from 2013. From January 2013, so a 7-year return from David Morrissey. It was from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm assuming they had mail there for years, and they stopped production, I know, on Walking Dead, so for Corona, obviously. So they probably just
send it back out to the actors. Probably sent to their management.
Because he lives in England.
Yeah.
Because he's British. So
actually, he's been signing all his mail. A lot of people have been popping up saying that they've been getting them back.
They've been getting them from England or here?
They didn't say. I just saw
they're all TTMs that are finally getting back. Gotcha.
He's going. I just had a bunch of guys get back to me saying, "Hey, I was cleaning out my office because I was so bored. I found your letters."
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck at home, so I got a couple of those. I don't even know what to do with them.
Yeah, we'll cover that a little bit here in a second after my return. So I was wanting to talk about that. Ben?
And IP's none because Corona. There you go.
Yeah. So Ben's an IPer mostly, and he's in a tough spot right now. So keep Ben in your thoughts.
It's okay. I have a job.
Scott, our guest host, Scott from Reindeer Studios. It's nice to have you on, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Your work, amazing. If you guys aren't subscribed to Scott, you definitely need to go do that. High quality content. But Scott, what did you get in?
Well, thanks for having me. I've been on an old guy kick, so I got Roger Craig,
It's a good old guy to get.
Yep.
You might as well get him now.
This is Eddie Robinson. And he personalized the back for me.
Nice.
And then this is an old press photo that he signed for me.
Man, you get some cool stuff.
Wow, that was a nice picture, though.
Yeah, it's neat. And then got this one back today. Got Carl Erskine.
Man, the legend.
Yeah, never ends.
Dude, he's like one of the best signers.
Oh,
of
he's
all
the
time.
him and Bobby Shantz are the Bobby Doors of
Mhm.
now.
They are now.
Yeah, for now.
So anybody that's watching, hey Scott, can you hold that up a second?
Yep.
Anybody that doesn't know Scott, he draws those. That's an original Scott doodle right there. So just FYI.
Yeah, those are hand drawn. And if you want to
Hand-drawn.
watch those videos, they're on his channel.
And Carl wrote, "Thanks for improving my looks." I thought that was funny. And here's Len Barker, which was in person. And then Morgana was TTM.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was an amazing video. I saw it got a lot of likes already too, so
Yeah.
it's pretty popular.
So that's what I got.
Yeah, Scott, you have great taste in like photo content. Like obviously you do the original stuff, which is amazing, but like even the photos you choose on the side and stuff, it's great. I love it. I watch every one of your videos, and yeah, I'm fanboying out, I guess, a little bit right now. I did want to talk about people picking up signing due to the pandemic thing going on right now. That thing. We have seen an increase in some people signing due to them sitting around the house and having a big pile of mail next to them. We didn't know if that was going to happen. I think we hypothesized it probably wouldn't, that people would be afraid to touch mail. But we as Americans tend to be a little bolder, I guess, than some other people, and it seems like people are signing mail. So anybody else got anything to say on that? They're happy. It's good to see.
My thing is, just like a lot of people, you check Stock Tiger every day, and I always hit on the recent returns, and it seems like either guys are signing within 10 days or like 680 days.
Right.
So I definitely see a big upswing of guys signing the old mail, because again, they are sitting at home, they have nothing else to do, so they said, screw it, let's just crack a few of these open.
Yep. And just a heads up, those guys that take 600 days, don't write to those guys, because you're probably not gonna get them. Unless quarantine goes on longer, but you have a lower chance of getting them because they sat there for 2 or 3 years to begin with, and probably the only reason they got signed was because of this pandemic. So be smart to who you write to, unless you're willing to wait a long time, because who knows when the next pandemic's going to be, when they're going to sign again.
I just need my spring trainings to start coming back.
Yeah.
hopefully they're just still sitting there, not in the garbage. But.
I've got bad news for you.
Yeah,
Jason.
Yeah. It's called an incinerator.
I don't know the garbage shoot.
Yeah.
You might luck out. I mean, if they're still sitting there and they start the leagues back up and they actually play from their spring training homes, I mean, their schedule is going to be hectic as all hell. They probably won't have time for it, but
I heard it was just going to be like Arizona, though. So, I mean, you might be screwed if Florida, but,
Yeah.
Well, most of
Another
mine went to
funnel.
Arizona, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
And for my returns this week, I really only bought one thing. I've been trying to cut back due to everybody kind of cutting back on costs. But this is a cool piece, and I wanted to show it to you guys. And I'm selling it in an interesting way. It comes as a set, but it's damaged, so you have to make weird decisions when that happens. This is an Enola Gay model made by the Danbury Mint, and this is the base here, signed by Paul Tibbets, who was the pilot for the Enola Gay. And here's the plane. It's got several pieces that attach to it, but those are not on it right now. And it's got several places of damage where a collector would have problems with. So what I'm doing is actually piecing them out separately. So I'm selling the base to somebody that has a base that's not signed and they want a signed base. And then the plane, I'm just going to sell as a damaged plane. which should sell for a decent amount also. So that's how I'm actually going to sell that. I thought that was interesting. Whenever you get damaged things, you kind of have to make some wonky decisions if you're a dealer like me, a dirty dealer. And then since I only had one thing to show off, actually two things. I actually prepped a lot for this and over prepped probably, but I got the good old Mariah Carey auto pins, every goddamn one of them. I got like 3 variations here. So if you guys don't know, these guys auto pin more and more when you buy a signed CD. It's becoming more of a trend. I don't know if there's a management company that's doing it, but we're seeing it more and more. So beware if you're buying signed CDs, which are an amazing deal. They've been doing it for years. They're starting to get lazy. And with Mariah, they actually did a fake publicity photo where like she signed maybe 1,000 of them and then auto pinned all the rest. So they're pointing to that photo as proof that she signed these. Kind of annoying, kind of fraud. And if you are interested in a hashtag, I'm going to be posting on our Instagram soon with the fun hashtag where you guys can post your auto pins. That's coming soon though. I had pulled a few other things because I didn't think 2 was enough. And I wanted to show you a few old things and a couple things that I had laying around that we don't talk about much. So this is a couple old, one of the old TTMs I got back in the day. It's a John Waters hand-signed condom. So if you want to check that out there. One of my prized possessions. I love that piece. Of course,
Can't
John
get over
Waters.
the frame.
The frame is perfect too. I know. It all goes together.
I didn't hear condom. I just looked at the frame.
Oh no, yeah, it's a legit condom. I sent one to Dr. Ruth, but she didn't sign it, so I was disappointed. And then this is a Barbie hand signed by Ruth Handler. So it's the creator of Barbie, and I'm not going to open it up or whatever because I'm not sure what'll fall out, but some special edition thing. It wasn't signed. It wasn't a signed special edition. It was signed after the fact. So, and then I wanted to show off some cool inscriptions. If you guys don't know, I sell autographs. I do matte pieces. I cut signatures. And when I cut signatures, I'm kind of cutting history. I have a handwriting. I have some cool inscriptions. And whenever I have a cool inscription that I cut, I save the inscription part because it's still celebrity handwriting. And sometimes they write something cool. So here's a few of those. This is World War II hero Pappy Boyington. And this says best with black sheep ones. Black Sheep was the name of his plane. This is James Watson. That's just kind of, oh, you guys can't see that, can you? Let's change the focus here. This will help. All right. So that one's just kind of cut out there. It's some library that he signed at. That's James Watson, the discovery of DNA. He won the Nobel for. This is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Knowledge is power. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these, and I have a bunch more, and I was going to kind of piece them out as we go through the episodes. I thought it might be fun to look at some. This is the word longest, and it's actually written by Ed Wolfe, who was a very tall man that was in several horror movies in the early 1900s. This is the first part to Ad Astra, written by Buzz Aldrin. Again, these aren't really worth anything. They're just really cool pieces. Like, I couldn't throw them away. Here's the word Mars, written by Buzz Aldrin. Just a couple more here. This is Merry Christmas, Pam and Chris, from Ron Evans, who is an Apollo astronaut. I think he was a pilot, a command module pilot. And this is really cool. This is actually a business card of Kevin Mitnick, who is a famous hacker. So that's one of my favorite pieces too. These actually sell for quite a bit. Sorry to bop the mic. These actually sell for quite a bit. I think just due to the information. People want contact information for them. And I've seen these sell for like 60, 70 bucks. So I've had offers on this I've turned down. It's kind of crazy. And I'm not even in the business card world. I'm sure there's business cards are worth a lot more. But okay, let's go ahead and move on to the market watch. Mike?
All right. So this week we're looking at signed sketches, artworks on eBay for the market report. What you see here, just did a quick little eBay search, and what came up, a bunch of 101s. When people find artwork, if there's one of them, it's valuable. I will say 101, as you can see here, the first one, Hulk from a Marvel premiere, $70. And then Star Wars, of course, is going to lead the pack. They have a bunch of artists.
I want to get Scott's feelings on this because there are some companies, Leaf, who does not hire the highest quality artist when it comes to sketch cards. And I know it's a big task to sit there and sketch all these cards out, and they probably have a base rate that they're willing to pay, and you can only get such a quality of artist for that. Scott, how do you feel about some of these sketches? Not the ones he showed, because those were decent, but there's some that look terrible. And I actually love the ones that look terrible personally, but how do you feel about them?
I kind of feel bad for the artist actually, because they have to do so many of them, and they're so small, and it's hard to do anything good at that size.
Right. So you almost have to be like proficient in that form of art, like small art.
Definitely.
So, okay. So maybe they're just not, they're hiring artists, but not looking for the specific artists that would be proficient in quick, small art.
Right. I think it's a good idea, but it's just, it doesn't work out most of the time.
Well, the Star Wars brands are actually, usually those sketches are okay. It's those companies that are on the edge of licensing that don't have licenses. Those are usually the ones that are not the highest quality sketches, let's say. It kind of feels like they went to the local high school and had somebody.
Some of the Stranger Things art cards were horrible. Yeah. I looked at getting some, and I was like, I want something I can at least tell who this is on the card, not just.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. But actually, if you guys have any terrible art cards that you found, it doesn't have to be in your collection. If you find one on the internet, post that to our Facebook page, because we want to see that. That might be kind of fun to look at. Go ahead. Go ahead, Andy.
It's gonna stink to be an artist that you just spent a couple hours drawing that on a card, and then you go on the eBay and it's worth like $5.
They did.
I'm like, that's gonna be just a
that.
kill. No, I'm just saying, like, whatever. Like, you put your thinking it came out great, and it's.
I bet those people are
$6 and free shipping.
You're looking at it wrong, Andy, man. They're cranking those, man. That's why some of them are probably so bad, because they're just like cranking them out.
Yeah, my doodles usually take 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. And
I'm sure they don't have that much time to do these.
No. And they're not getting paid, but like probably what, $10 a card or something.
Right.
Probably not even that. But who knows? We'll get you in touch with Tops, Scott, and maybe you can help out. Or
appreciate that.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So the thing with looking here at the Star Wars cards, obviously the bigger name is going to draw bigger money. If you have a Princess Leia card, you're looking at $150. Kira was one of the main characters from Solo, but then you get down here, a couple of sketch cards, $20. Not bad, but
that's around $20-$30 is what I see usually. And they also have the signed versions where they sticker them. They'll have the artist do it in a sticker on top. Those usually go for $30-$40. Some of the actors go for $20. But.
All right, and just did another quick sketch here. These aren't one-on-ones, but you're looking at more Star Wars stuff. Anything Princess Leia, especially in the Return of the Jedi outfit, is going to draw some big money. Again, Marvel premiere, not one-on-one. Looking at $30. I thought this was kind of cool. Star Wars Masterworks autographed one-on-one, but it's a wood sketch. So I'm guessing that it was sketched on a real thin piece of wood. Maybe.
Weird.
But looks cool. So if it's not one-on-one, there's still some value in it. Next one I just did, I think this was hand signed stuff. So you guys can send to artists and ask them, send them an index card. You may get something back. Something that I have too that I didn't show. These little guys here from the autograph card is like a blank card, but it's actually like on cardstock. I've got a few of these signed. You can send something like that.
Dude, you need to send one of those to Scott.
Have him doodle himself.
Yep.
But you can get stuff hand drawn on an index card. That's really low. I'd pay $1.50 for that.
Holy crap! That Neiman went for 40. That's 100% worth like $200 right there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There's a Playboy one from Leroy Neiman 101, and 101. I it's not certified. That's just an eBay term.
eBay 101.
Yeah, right. Just some cool stuff. Hand drawn comic strip. That's pretty cool. And last one I think was just more hand drawn stuff that was signed. You're getting more into the artists that draw cartoons for like Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera, somebody with actual animation background, and you'll see stuff like this. You see the characters, Porky Pig and Shaggy down here.
Now, this is like convention art, right, Scott? This is like people. That's what it looks like to me, like where they draw famous characters and sell prints.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too. So that's a very common thing. If you go to any convention, you'll have several tables of people that do, Boba Fett, like making out with Darth Vader and stuff like that. You have some weird stuff done that's like questionable on the copyright, but it's very common. So I think that's probably what that's selling. It looked like it was even embossed and stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's a print. Did it say print or hand drawn?
They say hand drawn.
Okay, well,
hand drawn convention art.
If you're interested in collecting that sort of little doodle sketch TTM, there's a Facebook group that's just, I think it's sketches, like comic sketches or just maybe sketches TTM, and you can look it up, and if you just type in sketches in Facebook, you'll find it. And it's basically a whole group that's just shows people showing what sketches that they got back. So it get you some ideas.
Well, you just reminded me of a whole community that we've never talked about, but I don't even remember the official name of them, but they basically trade artwork on trading card sized pieces. So they will, whatever their medium is of art, they will do the artwork on a blank card, the size of a trading card, and they basically trade them with other artists. And they're done heavily in China and import. You can buy them on eBay for like $4 or $5, and they're usually done in China if they're on eBay. But that's definitely there's a huge community around that, custom art cards. Again, there's a name for the community, but I'm kind of put on the spot here because I just remembered that community and I don't remember the name. But it's very interesting, that world. It doesn't have to do with autographs, but it is a one-of-one piece from somebody. And you can collect cats, or you can collect anything in that. So
there's a big, and this is really weird, but I go to a lot of like Comic Cons, and dinosaurs are huge. Like people have like books full of just, hey, you go up to a random comic guy, hey, draw me a dinosaur.
I wonder if they're feeding off the kids that like get hauled into conventions to see like celebrities that they don't care about. Like, look, kids, dinosaurs. All right, go on, Mike.
All right, so that's it. Basically, there's value if you can get somebody to sketch something. You might not know the artist's name, but a lot depends on the subject also. If you can get a famous subject like the Princess Leia, you might not know who the artist is, but the subject will add value to it. So sketches are pretty cool, and they're definitely worth some money in the marketplace.
And they're affordable. Like, especially the cartoonists, the people that do it for newspapers and stuff, those people will almost always sketch something out and usually do it for free. So like, that's crazy. Like, Scott knows, like, art takes time and effort, and for those cartoonists to take time out of their day to sketch something real fast for you, it means something, man. It's definitely a whole another level to TTMing.
Artists are cool people.
Yeah, they are cool people. I agree. So we'll go ahead and move on to the Via Venue report. Chase.
All right, via venue, there's not much venue. So we'll go on to similar like I did the last episode, talk about private signings. Again, there's a lot going on right now. Actually, it's crazy over flooded. If you just go, like I said, I know reading off of baseball private signings Facebook group, just to list off some names that they're doing it in May. Mariano Duncan, Mike Davis, Jose Canseco, Tom Egan, John Moreland, Carlos May, Ted Power, Ellis Burks, Eric Davis, Gorman Thompson, Amos Ottos, Dave Stabe, Jay Tibbs, Atlee Hammaker, Ben McDonald, Kelly Gruber, Jim York, Ernest Riley, Gary Nolan, Ed Halecki, Dave
I love this segment.
Kingman,
We're making you read off names. I love this segment.
Brett Boone. I mean, that's just a list of people who are doing it in May. There's some already listed up through June, July, and August on there. So definitely.
Now, what's usually the time period to send your stuff in? They want it like 2 weeks beforehand or what?
Usually it's about a week before the actual signing, because that gives them a chance to get it all together. Right. I guess, like they have the dates on there when they need it by.
Perfect.
And costs and all that.
Perfect. So if you guys are interested in any of those guys, go check that out on Facebook. What was the group that you usually look at?
Baseball private baseball signings.
There you go.
Thanks. What it is. Yeah.
So go check that out. We're going to move on because we're running a little long already to the topic. And the topic, of course, as you've probably already guessed, signed artwork. So we've geared everything this episode toward that, since that's Scott's specialty. We try to gear our subjects toward our guest hosts to make their first episode easy. So we're going to start with the kinds of signed artwork and fly through those a little bit. Obviously, the stuff that Scott does that's hand-drawn would be a signed artwork. But do you sign your artwork that's also signed by the celebrity? Yep, you do. Right there.
Right there.
So he signs it right there, and then he has the subject sign sometimes. He tells the subjects they can keep it, but they hardly ever listen. And so that's definitely one kind of artwork. So you have subject signed artwork that's authentic. And have you ever thought about doing prints? I know with this Morgana Kiss print, a lot of people would want a copy of that to get signed. Have you ever thought of going that route, or do you worry about copyright issues or name rights and stuff like that?
I know a lot of people do that at conventions, especially comic book conventions.
Yep.
And it's not legal.
Yep.
And so I've just kind of avoided it.
Right.
Just because people, for the most part, are collecting the subject and not the artist.
Right.
And that's what bothers, like, the celebrity that would be signing this.
And they're also selling it, and they're not just doing it for their personal collection.
Right.
So like yeah, that's definitely an issue. I see that. So we have prints that, and usually these are official prints. When you see this, you do see it at Comic-Cons every once in a while that's unofficial, but you will see an artist pair up and do a portrait series and have limited signed prints signed by the subject. Actually, my art teacher, fun story, my art teacher actually had a private session with Ozzie Smith and did a set of prints. And I helped her out with some baseball cards, and she gave me a whole set of signed prints, like gigantic. Dang it, I should have brought those over. They're literally right over there, but I don't want to get up in the middle of the show. But they're all hand signed by Ozzie Smith and the artist. So those actually go for quite a bit of money, especially if it's a known set. And then you have, again, your TTM sketches. These are usually not full art pieces, just sketches. Can you guys think of any other signed artwork you might run across other than those three? Trading cards, we talked about those.
Mostly like for me, for like IP, like some people like getting canvas, like 16 by 20 canvas stuff signed, just because it looks nice, basically.
Do people get blank canvases signed, or they
No,
have
just
artwork?
like they're not actual, like most of them aren't too lazy to be artists, obviously IPers. So it's just like Photoshop stuff, like a good edit in Photoshop and get it signed
Gotcha.
by the person. I mean, it looks cool, but it's pricey, obviously, to get it
Yeah,
printed.
there's the digital aspect. Scott, you can talk about this. Like people that do editing, like you do digital art. It's not hand drawn. It's actually all done on the computer, which was the Morgana.
Right.
That wasn't done by hand. That was done on a computer. So
Yeah, that was.
that technology has changed art a little bit.
I have to throw this in there. This is a weird issue because I know a lot of us have done it, but whenever you're looking for photos, a lot of us run across cool sketches that people have posted to their Pinterest or Instagram and print those off to get signed. And some of those end up getting sold. So Scott, I know you're in that field, and like, let's say you post some digital artwork that gets shared around and that eventually gets printed and signed. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, right there. We had an example of it on the show. It happens all the time. And be honest with us, like seriously, because this is a perspective that we don't get to hear very often.
I'm fine with it as long as I don't get in trouble for anything.
Right.
Like,
it's not you printing it, so I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've released that art into the world, and I don't know if it could come back to me or not. But
I usually cut it's bad, but I cut the signatures off sometimes of the artists because it don't fit right. They hardly ever are the right aspect ratio. So almost always the signature gets cut off the artist, so nobody would even know who the artist was. But that is a weird area. I mean, just photos in general, you're usually taking photos that have copyrights on them in general. And this is something we've talked about before. But I don't know. Maybe it's kind of really crappy what we're doing.
It's not really different from you taking somebody's photograph and doing the same thing.
Right.
So what's the difference between a lithograph and a preprint or a
print? Just a regular print.
Yeah.
I think a lithograph is made made to look realistic, right? Like it's like on like Scott, you answer it because you probably know better than I am.
I assume, I don't know for sure, but I assume lithograph is meant to last longer. It just sounds more expensive.
Right.
Right. Now you always see like, oh, this is a signed lithograph. Okay, what's the difference between a lithograph and a print? You know,
I've dealt with some of that stuff, and from what I've seen, and I'm not saying this is correct, but lithographs tend to be on like paper that looks realistic. Like you could mistake a lithograph for like possibly a real thing if you didn't know art. Prints tend to be more generic on more normal paper. It may be done in watercolor, but just printed on normal paper. So yeah, I think Scott's kind of right. It's like a higher end version. I think a lot of people that do prints call them lithographs. That term gets thrown around like crazy. So yeah, it's not concrete. We'll move on to price, which prices fluctuate like crazy in the art world. It's basically, what would you say is the biggest thing that determines price, Scott?
It's who the artist is or who the subject is. Probably more so who the subject is. Nobody knows who artists are. But there are some artists that can command a high price, and that's about it. I don't sell most of my work. I just do it because it's fun. So I'm not a super expert on price.
Right.
Do you think size might make a difference in price?
It could. A lot of people think the bigger it is, the longer it takes to make, but that's not always the case.
Yeah. So if you're an artist, go big because you can make it quick
Well,
and make more money.
like Zane was talking about the little card size, and then there's some that that take up a whole wall.
And I'm sure you could spend 2 hours on a little card if you wanted to. Like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter.
I mean, graffiti on the side of a building might cost a lot to take home.
But I think Scott would agree. Yeah, exactly. I think Scott would agree that time spent on a piece doesn't necessarily affect the price either. Like it should probably, but unless it's a commission, I guess commission would. But if you're buying just art straight up from a dealer or from like online through eBay, nobody's gonna be able to tell necessarily how long you spent on it. It's all about the skill, I guess, of the artist and like you said, the subject. But I don't know, man. Like those cartoonists are amazing at their job, and those things sell for like $20, sometimes tops on eBay. Like it's crazy to me that those pieces go for so little when it's an original piece of artwork. Yet you can have somebody do a painting that's worth, Banksy does something and it's millions.
A lot of that's driven by like social media and just getting the name out there.
Marketing.
They may not be the best artist, but if people are talking about it, I want it, and that's what's driving the price up is people just supply and demand. You can have a name that is it like Banksy? His stuff is it's all right, but because nobody knows who he is, it's in the media constantly. So I want a piece because what if this takes off, and it did.
Yep. Well, that's another thing. A lot of people use art for investment, right? That's a big thing with the higher end art. I think that stuff's totally out of our league on talking about technically, but I said we were going to talk about, we brought it up a little bit like Banksy, but that a lot of people just invest money because they know those bigger names are going to go up in value, only go up. Kind of like you would in trading cards. If you get in on a rookie and you get a good deal and they're a solid thing, Mike Trout, they're only going to go up. Most likely LeBron is another example. Not many of those people around that are going to be a sure thing, but there's a few. All right, let's go ahead and move on to permissions / copyright. We kind of hit this one already.
I've had people that I've written to, they're pretty big names in the world of art. I printed out a 4x6 or an 8x10 of the actual artwork they did. And, I sent a picture of maybe them in the studio painting. They'll sign that, but they will not sign. I've actually had people say, I will not sign my artwork because they get paid big money to make a print and sign it. And so I've had people flat out say no. And I've had it also done with photography. Famous photographer that has taken a picture, they won't sign that exact photo. And I think it's the same thing. That's their bread and butter.
And then you get the opposite from the subjects. They're like, hey, can I get a copy of that?
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to add? Anybody had any experiences where people wouldn't sign paintings or anything that's sent TTM? Anybody?
No, the only ones I ever get is those magic cards I send out, and I've gotten a few letters back saying I don't sign these at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a licensed product, so I figured they would be.
You know what? I actually got a letter back from one of the artists that wrote one of the rudest letters back saying, read my damn email website. I do not sign these. Do not ever send them to me ever again.
Dude, if they were cheap,
I was like, seriously? Like, I didn't even know he had a website. I really never went to it. But he kept referring back to his website that it states it on there that he does not sign.
Dude, if you could have got those for like 5 cents a piece, I would have bought like 30 of them and sent it to them the next week.
Yeah,
and be like, here you go.
But I've gotten guys that from the Magic Cards send back sketch cards that I never even asked for or requested. They'll just throw them in there too.
Yeah. So it's just basically, I think it's just different. Every person has a different feeling on it. A lot of people are protective of their work. A lot of people are just careful with their work. And some people just are happy to get mail and happy to sign. So you're going to get a range on that.
Yep.
Our last subtopic for this, because we've covered this topic a lot in the previous segments, but our last one is autograph no-nos. And I don't know if Scott's going to come up with anything on this, but I always have to ask it for our last subtopic. So, Scott, do you have any autograph no-nos when it comes to signed photo?
Okay, we got Dennis Rodman here. And that was an IP signing. And while I was in line, somebody had a big print that they printed out, and it was a horrible Photoshop job with Dennis and Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il. And he was pissed. He
Really?
would not sign it.
Really?
Yep. So that's the only no I know. Just don't
Subject
Photoshop.
matter. Yeah.
Dennis
I was
Rodman.
going to say, if you're an artist and you have that kind of talent, I wouldn't draw Michael Jordan in drag and try and get him to sign it.
Right.
Something that the subject doesn't do.
Right. Or even some of the stuff he met Kim Jong-un, so it's something he did do, but he just doesn't want to sign the subject matter. So if you're trying to get a piece of artwork signed, that would definitely be a no-no, one of those off-color topics.
But Rodman was really nice to me.
Yeah, he seemed. Actually, I've seen some stuff where he was signing. He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Kind of like the C-3PO error card that he refused. Anthony Daniels refuses to sign.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Error.
Hey, from what I've read, as a piece fell off the costume, and the picture was taken at the exact time where it was located at a very awkward position.
We'll leave it
I'll
at
leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. So make sure your piece is presentable.
Yeah, real quick. I mentioned that I've had people flat out deny me, signing the actual piece. But write to these people, because you never know what you guys might get. I wanted to show this. This is a hand-drawn picture from Alexandra Nikicha, and she's dubbed the Petite Picasso. If you ever watch Boy Meets World, she had a guest spot on there, but her stuff goes for like anywhere from $2,000 up to like $10,000 a piece. And all I did was write her a letter, had her sign a couple things, and she sent that in like a flat mailer. I didn't ask for it. So I always say with TTMs, you never know what's going to show up in your mailbox. So take a chance, send an index card, have them sign stuff. Also, I wish Stacy was on here. He started doing this. Have people that are not artists sketch something. Send an index card and say, if you have an extra couple seconds, doodle something. He had a couple wrestlers sign some stuff and do a little sketch, and one of them was pretty funny. It was just a stick figure with muscles. It's pretty awesome.
Another little trick I've seen before is tracing of the hand. So they'll send a full piece of paper and say, "Can you please trace your hand and sign the piece of paper?" So there's actually, whoever did that was like sold their entire collection on eBay, because like they're all over eBay, or maybe they're just selling them on eBay after they make them do it. But
yeah, they're artists. Ask them to be creative. So you never know.
Yep.
For IP, it's kind of weird to ask it. I don't know. They get the kind of like the what kind of look on their face.
That's kind of like asking a comic to tell a joke, though, ain't it? Because if you're in person, it's like, hey, tell me a joke. You're a comic. You're funny, right?
Be funny.
Yeah.
No. For my buddy, we got Doug Peterson, the Eagles coach, Philly special, and he drew the Philly special for my buddy. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it took forever because it's a football play, so you had to draw like 11 little dudes and stuff. Yeah. But and then but it was pretty cool. I mean, he was kind of like, what? and then he did it. But so.
Yeah, definitely. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That actually has been a trend lately that I've noticed, that a lot of guys are sending to coaches and saying, "Can you draw out your favorite play?" And they actually been coming back with like the X's and O's, and then it's all drawn out.
That's cool.
And then they sign it. It looks actually pretty nice.
I bet your return rate would be pretty good too if you hit some of the up and coming coaches that you knew were eventually going to make it to the big name schools. I bet you could get a lot of those mid range guys on their way up. I bet they do it 100%.
Oh, great! Another project.
There you go. Here you go,
what
Andy.
The hell? I can't do more. Andy.
Okay, guys,
we got to move on. It just can well, obviously you can buy like 8x10 like blank canvases, right? Like glossy.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah, you can. Right, you got to ship them though.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if they come back with a nice play on them,
You can get the flat canvases. Those would probably be better to send with some backing, instead
Yeah.
of the full out. Because if you get the full canvases, it's going to be a lot heavier. It's got wood. Anyways, guys, we got to move on. We're running short on time here. We're going to move on to the case against.
The case against.
And this is the case against Tommy Lee. I have some photos to show you guys. This is what I came up with. This here is an in-person signature. A lot of his in-person signatures that were not at a sit-down signing tend to be sloppier, not as detailed, and I haven't seen many personalizations on those. So there's an in-person. Here's another in-person. This one was probably sitting down, I would guess, because it's a little more like his normal signature. But I want you to look here at Cheers. The way he makes his E's is kind of an uppercase way, and his handwriting in general tends to be, the only way I can describe it is neat yet sloppy. It's like it's done in a uniform way, but not, I don't know. His letters are all a little crooked. So take note of his handwriting there. Again, that was another in person. Here is his full signature, which I only found one. This is actually Beckett authenticated. Notice these 3 dots up here at the top of his signature. Those come into play later. But this is his full signature. Again, this is the only one I found. Somebody probably literally asked him for the full signature. So here's a PSA DNA. You'll notice here on the Lee, it connects a little bit, but it's pretty much a straight line here. Some of them connect, some of them don't. You'll see that as a theme also throughout these. But the T is very consistent on all these. And this is not his signature. This is Vince. What's his name? Vince. Neil, yeah. So here, Tommy's signature. This is the only one that his T was a little looped. It wasn't as sharp. But I think this is definitely an IP, probably like at an airport or something. They probably just got these 2 guys as they were leaving. Or maybe it was after a concert, I don't know. That was PSA DNA. And this is another PSA DNA, a sharper T like we see on most of them. And here's the unconnected Lee. We see both of those in his signature. There are so many consistencies here, though. There are those are the inconsistencies I pointed out. But let me stop sharing here, and we'll move to the next one, which is his TTMs. And I only really had to pull 3 examples because I told you guys about some of the traits that are similar already. So here we see a lot of dots. Again, this is TTM. You have several dots consistent with his IP and his handwriting with the uppercase E. And again, somehow like fancy and chaotic at the same time. It's the same handwriting as this TTM has the same handwriting as the IP. 100% sharp T and no connection on the T here. And all these TTMs are not going to have a connection on the L. Did I say T? I meant L on the Lee. So again, ... kind of chaotic writing, handwriting. I always look at inscriptions. I'm the inscription guy. Mike's the signature guy. That's kind of how we work. But again, sharp T, and the L has a little loop here, but it's it moves a little bit. It's not just straight up and down, but it's still not connected. And moving on to the last one, ... got the uppercase E, and yeah, it's my opinion is that his TTM stuff is legit. And that's mostly due to the inscriptions. There was some differences in the signature, but the signature tended to vary IP. The IPs were different too. It's not just the TTMs versus the IPs and the PSAs. Like the PSAs and IPs were different within themselves. So it shows me he has a few variations of his signature. It could be older signatures versus newer signatures, but the handwriting tells the tale on this. So, Mike, what's your opinion?
All right. I'll just go through this real quick. I'm going to share screens. And you guys will see a lot of the same thing. I pulled up, this is a PSA DNA signed Allen and Ginter card. You see the T, pretty characteristic, comes across. The O kind of looks like an E, starts in, loops around, and finishes with the Lee, kind of comes across there. So here's a drum head signed in like a black drum head signed in silver. You see the classic T sharp crossover, the O that looks like an E, and the Lee with the long tail. Real quick here, same thing. Tommy, when I think he has time, likes to put little inscriptions. Here's what up, kind of blocky, capital A with the lowercase, question mark, dot, dot, dot. This is, I think, his fuller signature with the kind of demon tail. This is Beckett certified. And then what I'll finish up with, most of my other slides were the same as Zane, but this is a TTM that I got. You see, hey guys, there's the E that Zane is talking about. It is capital, it's hard to see. With the S, again, blocky stuff. T, classic. O, that looks like an E, comes across, and then a little tail. He didn't put the demon tail, but from what I saw, I'm leaning towards definitely authentic. I couldn't find the story, but I did see back in the day an interview. He said, if I'm out with my kids, don't come up to me and ask for an autograph. If you send me something, I will sign it. So, I couldn't find the interview, but he was talking about being out in public and, people coming up to him. But yeah, if Andy or Chase want to take anything?
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much covered the actual signature and everything. Just like you were saying, some variations that he does is in after the last E, it does swoop down sometimes, and he does make that like a little devil tail. And I saw a lot of where he does like a peace sign with the circle, and then it doesn't look like a peace sign because it's like, he does every little piece just looks like a bunch of lines with a circle around it. But it's supposed to be, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen one that actually really looked like a peace sign, but you can make it out in the strokes that that's what he's trying to do. So, yeah, his artwork is not very good on a peace sign. But I agree. I think everything that I've seen is, it's good.
Andy?
No, I totally agree. I mean, of all the ones I looked at, and I got a couple myself that I couldn't actually find. What really stuck out to me was the T. It kind of looks like the cross, and the O looks like a spiral to me. Then sometimes he does just Tom or Tommy. Then with the Lee, he does like the crossover. I mean, it's pretty consistent. I mean, between the IP and his certified, he had a couple of certified cards on there that I looked at that he actually went out and did Tommy. But I mean, they all look the same pretty much. I mean, all the little characteristics. Wow, that's a big word for me, man. That I really believe that all his TTM is actually him, which I'm really surprised.
Me too.
I mean, I wouldn't think a big rocker like that, who's probably watching the Dirt movie, he would actually be signing stuff. But
and he actually charges a lot of money for cameos and stuff. Like, so I figured for sure he would charge for autographs and not do a TTM. So this one surprised me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm really shocked that he's actually really doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at an eBay listing. I think they're definitely authentic as well. Before I get into this, looking at an eBay listing, it's an autographed Funko Pop. So those things are hard to sign anyway because it's like, I don't know, like a rectangle. You got a small window. And I'm looking at the ones with yellow ink on them. So this is definitely a paint pen. And his signature is like very consistent with the TTMs because those paint pens, A, they can feather really easily, and then B, they can explode on you, and they're just hard to use. I preferably don't like using them,
right.
But a lot of Funko Pop collectors like them. So they're perfect. Like I wish I could show you because I don't know how to screen share, but it's an autographed Funko Pop in yellow ink. And it's like a 2-pack basically, and then there's the devil tail, and then every characteristic we've mentioned just
Well,
now.
Ben, you're an IPer, so
Yeah.
do you see a difference between people having something to like put their wrist on when they sign, and somebody like just signing in the airport where it's kind of the loopy, don't have any like leverage? Because there are a few examples that are certified of his that have a loopier T and a connected Y to the L, but there's only a few examples. You think those would probably just be airport signatures, something where he's just kind of just getting something on the paper?
I guess I don't really know. It kind of really depends on the situation too. If he's rushed or if he's just
Right. Okay.
like
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
that made more sense.
Hands full too.
Right.
Hands full is another thing.
Signing
like,
as he's walking, not
yeah,
not
exactly.
stopping.
Like it really depends on the situation. Hands full. You only got like I can sign here or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Like it really depends on like. But those things, like for them, those are perfect autographs. The ones I'm looking at on eBay, and he had to either put that on a table or like have some guy literally like hold it like this, like
Yeah.
Hold it still.
hold it still. So,
Yeah.
and then it came out perfect. So I mean, and it's consistent with the TTMs. Like that's legitimately his handwriting because of those.
All right.
Those P pens are hard to use, basically. So.
Well, that's interesting. I think we all have a vote here. Scott, you don't have to say anything because you don't have to prep for the show because you're a guest host.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and let you vote, though, because I don't think it's going to affect the outcome. So let's see. Chase, what do you think? Oh, wait.
Definitely
We have
authentic.
definitely authentic, probably authentic, neutral, probably fake, or definitely fake. So out of those.
Definitely authentic.
All right. Andy?
Oh, definitely authentic. And I just looked. I got mine back in under a month. So I'm definitely going with authentic.
Yep. Mike?
Oh, I'll say definitely.
Ben?
Definitely authentic.
Okay, and Scott for funsies.
I'll say definitely. And I think the quality depends on bra size too.
Definitely true. Okay, well, we say definitely authentic. What do you guys think? Let us know. Let's move on to our giveaway. And the giveaway winner for last show was David Furukawa. I hope I said that right. David Furukawa. You won the 3 signed 8x10s from 1990s basketball players. Very cool lot. We'll get that out to you ASAP. And this show, we're giving away a Moises Alou signed mini helmet. Signed by Moises right there on the brim. I've had this in my personal collection for a while, and I'm just running out of room. So you guys are going to benefit a little bit from that. But that's not all we're giving away. We're also giving away these, which I bought. These are actually a phone magnifier, and this is what I use to see if signatures were printed or hand signed. It comes in handy, and all you do is stick this part on the phone, on your phone, and put it over the camera, and it will magnify and shed light into it so you can see the signature. And you can also magnify using your phone by, just using the magnify swipe thing. So great tool if you're wanting to see if some of your stuff is printed or hand signed, because some of the stuff gets tricky. Some of the print jobs are high quality and it's hard to tell. So you will get that Moises Alou helmet and one of these. I actually have 10 of them to give away. So whenever I'm giving away something, this will be paired with it. So to win that, guys, all you have to do is go to graphersaa.com, and click the giveaway tab and answer this question. What is your favorite piece of signed artwork? Notice the theme in the show. What is your favorite piece of signed artwork? Answer that question and you are entered to win the Moises Alou helmet and the phone magnifier. We're going to move on to Fanatic feedback, which Chase has for us.
Yeah, I wish I had something. Nobody did anything. Nobody gave us any feedback. So
sad.
Yeah, go over and do that for this show.
Yes, guys, come on. We have voicemails set up, And all you have to do is go click a button, leave a voicemail, and ask us a question, and we'll answer it on the
It
next
works.
show.
We did it last show.
It
on
works.
The show.
The only message in there is the one that Mike recorded on the show, on the last show. It's sad. I get in there. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's left a message, and it's just Mike's lonely little voicemail sitting there. I'm like, oh man. So go do that, guys. Again, it's all on graphersaa.com. On to the Reaper Report. These are the people that passed away over the last 2 weeks. We have Ann Sullivan, Howard Finkel, Paul O'Neill, not the baseball player, the Treasury Secretary, Willie Davis, Shirley Knight, and Peter Hunt. So those are some of the notable people that passed away in the last 2 weeks. Luckily, the list is down from last week. I mean, I felt like I was reading off names for a month last week. It was kind of crazy. So looks like it's back to normal. And it's time for promotions, guys. We'll start off with Chase. What you got to promote?
All right. Every Wednesday, I got my Q&A Wednesday. This week's is Eddie Zosky. So, as a giveaway, I'm going to give this Scott Erickson card. All you have to do is go to that video, make a comment saying that you saw the show. You saw the podcast, you listened to the podcast, and you'll be entered to win.
Simple as that. And the link for Chase's channel is on our website also. So, all right, Andy.
All right. If I ever get off my butt again and start making videos on YouTube, which I keep promising I'm going to do, just find me on YouTube under Andy Summers and just look for this mug. I think I have a video from like a month ago, so that's my newest one. But I promise I will start doing them again now that I have a little extra time at night. And just look for that, and maybe I'll find an update eventually.
And there's, again, link on the website.
Yeah, just find that link and just find me.
Ben?
I got nothing to promote, so autographs for a cure.
All right, and Mike?
I'm going to take my time to personally thank Scott over at Reindeer Studios for what he's done for Autographs for a Cure. He's donated, I think we're up to 6 doodles. I've sold every one of them very quickly, some of them even before I've made a video. I think between the 6, we're at like $150 donated to the Cancer Center for Autographs for a Cure just through Scott's Doodles. So my time is to say thank you to Scott, and check him out on Reindeer Studios on YouTube.
Excellent. Great.
Perfect. Scott?
Yeah, check me out. Reindeer Studios on YouTube and Facebook, and Reindeer Studios 330 on Instagram.
Perfect. And Scott's link, as all of our guest hosts, will be down below in the description and also in the podcast description, so you can easily click and get to his stuff. Again, guys, I urge you to go subscribe to Scott. If you're a TTMer and you're into YouTube, when it comes to video quality, Scott's top of the line. He puts a lot of effort into his videos, and it's a great experience just to see what he puts out every week or so. So, all right. For me, I want you guys to go check out Bargain History at bargainhistory.com. Get some autographs on eBay. Fabric Fobs, fabricfobs.com. Get some celebrity clothing pieces on a tiny keychain on Etsy. And I think that's it, guys. So you take care, all of you autograph addicts.